Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to another episode on Rising Above Shadows of Abuse, RASA. So, growing up with that ridicule,
Yeah.
when did you first begin to internalize the idea of not being enough?
Yeah, so I think so when I left school, I went into different jobs, and I worked in an office with hundreds of women. And I remember going for the job. So the first day I left school, my mum goes, and I thought, oh great, I'm gonna have loads of time off, holidays, chill out. No, my mum dragged me down the job centre. And I went to job centre, and in the job centre, they said, "Oh, we've got a couple of jobs, and we might be able to get interviews." So I had an interview literally the next day. I was like, "Oh God," and obviously not feeling confident, not feeling great. Anyway, I went to this job interview, and the lady goes to me, "What have you done?" So I just left school, and obviously my GCSEs were horrendous. They were not good. And she said to me, "Why do you want this job then?" I said, "Well, I don't. My mum made me." And I think she felt sorry for me and gave me the job, which I was quite gutted about. But in that job, it did teach me quite a lot, understanding people and women and of all different ages. There's about 200 women in there, from 20 to 30s to 40s to 50s to 60s. And it was really interesting. But at the same time, this is when I learned, I started going out, which I thought, wow, I like this, because I didn't have to be me. But the thing was, not to be me, I'd use alcohol. So that's when I was first introduced to alcohol. My parents had drinks at home, but I wasn't allowed to drink, I did have a crafty one now and again. I'd if they left some of their wine out, I'd sip it, of course, and if they had a fag, I would have I'd lick one of their fags. So yeah, I wasn't, perfect teenager. But at school, so then at work, so I'd started going out with some of the youngsters, and then we'd be drinking. But every time I had a drink, I felt great. It was like I was like a different person. I suppose I was probably like what I am now. I was confident when I was drunk, and like if I'd gone to a nightclub, I could never have gone in sober. I'd been highly embarrassed. And but going into a nightclub then, I was drunk and I had all the confidence in the world, but I could never have gone in there sober.
So, in a nutshell, you were not a teenager, and the alcohol actually loosened you up to be yourself, to speak up for yourself, and to be more vocal.
Yeah, to be more vocal, to be more confident, to chat to people. But I think, as you say, alcohol. I don't drink now. I've drunk for years, but alcohol gives you something that I needed at that time. It gave me confidence, and it made me feel good. So, why wouldn't I? But with alcohol, that clouds your judgment. And that's when, for me, I had different boyfriends over the years, and some of them I'm still friends with. They're lovely, lovely guys. But this particular guy I met on a night out, and it's really weird actually. And I went out. I was about to get this night out, and I just lost my nan, so I wasn't mentally in a good place. My nan had gone, I think it was about 6 months before, and my nan was my rock really. I used to live with my nan quite a lot. And anyway, when my nan passed, I was in bits. I wasn't in a good place, if I'm honest. And I used alcohol, and I was drinking a lot, pretty much every day. Anyway, my friends kept goading me for this night out, and I didn't want to go. And believe me, I was the party queen. I was out nearly every night because I just liked it, because the feeling of drinking and partying, I loved it. But this particular night, I did not want to go out. I had this really weird feeling, and I've never felt it before until another time later on in my life. And my gut feeling telling me, do not go out. These 6 friends kept ringing me, one after the other, pushing me. And I went out, and that's the night I met my husband.
Okay.
And I suppose there's two things there. One, I wish I'd never gone on that night out, but two, I'd never have got my son. So, and I'd never, like, my son is my best friend and my, yeah, I love him to bits. So I am glad I went out, but at the time, it's taken me a long time to heal that, to say, yeah, I'm glad I did go out now, but that was tough.
So you had friends who wanted you to go out because you were the party queen.
Yeah.
But your gut instinct told you then, don't go out.
Yeah.
Don't go out.
Yeah.
But I think it had to do with pressure.
Yeah, I think
you were pressured or pressurized by your friends and you ended up going out. But like you rightly said, it turned out well, because if you had not gone out that day, you wouldn't have met your ex-husband and you wouldn't have had a child.
Yeah.
And the child is now one of your, in fact, the love of your life. Let me put it that way.
He is, yeah, he is. I love him to bits. Yeah, I'm so lucky to have him. But with that, as I say, when we met, he's a narcissist, and he's very good at showing a different person to, you know, what everyone else sees. To see, oh, he's nice and he's fun and he's talkable and he's kind. Because when I first met him, he goes, oh, I love going out and I love, you know, enjoy being around people and that. And I was like, oh, this is great, because, you know, I like to be around people, and, you know, I do like being around people, and I like being out. And but probably about 3 months in, I saw changes, but because I was pissed a lot, didn't notice them, you know, like there'd be little changes, but now if I look back, my God, all those little changes amounted to bigger changes and more changes and more changes. And that's how, like, the narcissists, you know, they kind of like do a little spin on you and test you and test you and test you. And I'm quite, or I was, shall I say, I'm quite an easygoing person. I still am an easygoing person, but people could walk all over me, and if they said to me, Lisa, could you lend me whatever it was, or could you do this for me, I'll be there tomorrow, and I'd just literally do anything for anybody. I won't now. I'll still help people, but I won't be walked all over and, you know, taken
advantage of.
But the thing was, after we've met, after probably 2 months in, as I say, you'd only see each other like every other weekend, and he was drinking, so I didn't know him, didn't know the person, and I drank a lot of alcohol, and ended up pregnant, and I thought, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do? But again, I was still in that romance stage, you know, with anyone in a relationship, sort of the first year, you've got oxytocin running through your body, and everything's like candy floss, everything's great, and you think, oh, this is a great relationship. You don't see the
downside.
Yeah, they don't see the downside. You don't see the bad side. But that's the thing with a narcissist, you know, it's just like literally like little seeds planted, and they get bigger and bigger, and then they start to bloom, and then you're like, and when it's too late sometimes, then, you know, like somebody might have moved in with a partner, might have signed up and got a mortgage, maybe have had children, might have got married, and it's like, excuse French, shit, you know, I'm now in a stage where I can't get out, what can I do? And it's a difficult thing, and I say to anyone, if you're going out on a date, don't drink. I know it's really hard, it's not easy, but would you rather face the problems now and deal with that, or be with someone who's absolutely not right for you because your judgment is clouded by alcohol?
So listeners, you heard Lisa. Make sure that you are okay, that your senses are working properly, so that you're not clouded by alcohol, in taking reasonable steps to protect yourself when the need arises.